Hello, you beautiful being, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to manifest anything instantly. You are always manifesting. You hear that a lot, right? But it's not what I want. No, it's not. But you certainly are aware of it, aren't you? Yes, you are. And that's the key. And in this video, I'm going to show you 3 keys so that instead of you just knowing God, God can get to know you. And I mean God, Allah, the universe, source, whatever you believe in. Let's not get fixed on what God is, but let's get fixed on how to change your reality, how to change your life, how to change your business, your health, anything. And this video especially goes out to a client of mine. She told me, yeah, I'm hesitant about joining your coaching program because I've been manifesting for 20 years without any results. And I told her, how old are you? She's 52. Then you have been manifesting for 52 years, right? And you've just been doing it wrong. You are always manifesting. But if you do not realize that manifestation is self-mastery, if you do not realize that your perception right now is always your prediction, then you cannot change your life. You cannot use manifestation as a trick because it is not. Manifestation is going all the way back to your true power and claiming that power, using that power to create your entire reality. It is not a trick you employ in your current awareness. I don't have this, I don't have that. It is about becoming. And these words, you've heard them before, but I will try my best to explain to you where to begin and where to end to finally manifest anything. So follow along, 3 keys. Final one is the most important. Realize right now, currently in your world, that there are no surprises whatsoever. And when you realize that you are never surprised by your world, you will also realize that you are creating it. If your awareness level is always what is shown to you on the, like in the external world, then how could it change? You are here on this channel because you know the power of your awareness. You might not be totally into it yet, but you know that your inside world will be your outside world if you focus long enough on it, right? As within, so without. All religious texts point to it, and all new business books talks about it, how your mindset can actually change your life for better. Realize that there are no surprises. That is key number 1. So you are never surprised. And that sounds stupid, right? But if you tell me, yeah, I'm anxious, and I will ask you, are you surprised? And what do you mean, Chris? So are you aware of you being anxious? Yes. So you are embodying that person? Yes. Are you resting your awareness on it? Yes. All right. Then that's your reflection until you change that awareness. And for those of you who are new here, what do I mean by awareness? I mean the thing inside you that rests on every aspect of your life, but that is the only true part of you. The rest of you is just identification. So if you close your eyes and if you go through images of different birthdays or stuff like that, you'll realize that you are both the character in that birthday, but you're also the awareness. And if you go to that memory, you'll realize that the awareness, the thing inside you, looking out through your eyes, that is not changing. That has the same age at any birthday. It has no hair color. It's simply just observing what goes on in your mind. And if you're used to this, obviously you know your own observer. But even when you are very used to knowing your own observer, you still identify with what you observe. So you have a thought and you observe that thought, right? It gives you 2 aspects of identity, the thing you cling on to and the thing that is truly you, right? And you will keep on telling yourself that this is truly you. So a lot of people in the manifestation area, they study this for 10, 20 years, and they keep on clinging onto this identity, believing that it's from here that you should look out on your life and change it. But it is not. You need to create a very clear distinction, and we'll talk about that in key number 3. Like, you are the observer, you are not the thing observed. So if you feel anxious, if you feel doubt, if you feel lack, if you feel sick, none of these are you. None of these are you. All right. And we don't really get to know our power until we start studying how manifestation works. Because then we will realize that it is so very liberating and powerful knowing that you are never surprised, because that means you have manifested it all. The opposite would be true if you kept on thinking, believing stuff about yourself, and it never showed. Right? But it's never like that. You are exactly the person being aware of everything in your world. There's not a thing that is surprise you. You never like check your bank account and it surprises you, right? It's always just like you believe it to be. And it reminds me of Surah Al-Rahman, where it keeps on stating stuff that God gave you, and then it says, which of your Lord's favors will you now deny? And it just keeps on repeating that. And that's so powerful. And the first time I read it, it really got me to tears, because it will put you in this state of, everything. You are simply just looking at it, not paying attention. If we take that and look at it through metaphysical glasses and say, so your awareness created everything. The source within you, God within you, Allah within you, whatever you believe in, created everything. Then you will start realizing, I was focused on this, I got it. I was focused on this, I got it. Even if you were focused on lack or sickness or whatever it was, you got it. And when you start realizing, I'm never surprised, you can also see your power in that. Obviously, I go around in worry, I go around in this, and this, and this, and this. That's my reflection, so I'm not surprised. I created it. Ultimate power, 100% power, right? You have until now in life, you've gotten everything that you have rested your awareness on. A simple example to realize this is in a relationship, a wife, husband, that you will tell me, some of my clients, we also talk about this relationship issues, and you will tell me, but my wife or husband keeps annoying me, whatever, right? And I will say, so what is your perception about that? But that he or she is like this, and she does this, and you have a very clear story about that. And then we try changing that story just on the inside, just for 5 days, 7 days, 14 days, right? Like just picking a new story, undependent on the outside world. It does not have to align. Just pick a new story. Tell yourself, you would call it a lie about yourself. It's not a lie, it's the truth, because you are the observer. You are not the thing observed, and the observer can observe anything. You can just close your eyes, look at a polar bear inside your head. So you are free to observe whatever you would like, also being healthy and also being in a relationship that has no faults whatsoever. So you will start telling yourself new stuff about your partner, and then realize within 5-7 days you have changed yourself, and you have also changed your relationship. And that is manifestation. You just manifested a new relationship by shifting your awareness to something that was not showing on the outside. Right? No surprises. You changed your inside, the outside changed. Simple. And I've seen this with money, with health, with relationships, with also big things in society. The power of your awareness is really powerful. Right. Let's go on to key number 2. But please remember that sentence. Which of your Lord's favors will you now deny? So you can go around knowing there's nothing to deny. It is just your creation. Obviously, collective consciousness, or God, or Allah, like the collective that you are only a part of, created things that you cannot create. Mountains, worlds, stars, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the things that you rest your awareness on in your private life. All right? Good. And then key number 2 is you really need to forgive yourself and forgive everybody else for not knowing their power as well. And forgive yourself for not knowing your power. Because it will give you the freedom to choose now. That you have made a distinction between a thing in your life, external reality, and a thing in your internal world. And the middleman is your thoughts about the external world. And those are free to choose. It does not feel like that when you're not used to doing it, but it is. So right now you have the option to change and choose new thoughts. And that will manifest a different reality for you. So you feel back pain, right? And please extrapolate this to anything, right? You feel back pain, and that is external reality. That is sensory input, like in the world. And then you have a thought, imagination. You are not in the present moment when you are having that thought, you are in that thought. So you are in imagination. You are in the creative space, let's call it that. You go to that thought and you attend to the pain. I hate the pain. You somehow identify with it. And that goes back to the point number 1, so you're not surprised, right? You don't catch that thought feeling surprised. You catch that thought feeling, yeah, it's me. I hate that pain. I had it yesterday. I will have it tomorrow. And now it's time to change, because it doesn't matter what the pain is like. You need to forgive the part of you that keeps on reaffirming that pain. And also forgive other people for not knowing not to do it. And then tell yourself a different story. I feel pain, and I will pick an awareness that is not pain. I will divide the two. So I'll pick a sentence, a feeling in me that's not me. Yeah, I feel that pain. It is not me, because I know myself to be painless. I know myself to be healthy. I have no thoughts about that pain because it's not mine. I don't have pain, actually. So you can see how picking stuff inside and embodying that is totally okay. Like you can find excuses, and your head right now is maybe trying to find excuses like, yeah, but it's not true then. And like, let's just cut that out, because we know manifestation to be from the inside out. So if you just keep on going to the outside looking for proof, it will not happen. Like the story I told you about Kanye West, like he just kept on saying, I'm the greatest rapper alive, right? And that's totally okay to do. Why would you not do that to yourself? Just tell yourself that you're perfect. Who could tell you otherwise? You believed it when you were born. Now you're believing society instead, or your parents instead, or your boyfriend instead, or whatever, right? Start believing in yourself, because you have the freedom to do so. And when you do it just for a day, realize how powerful you are. Like just today, most people will do this when they reach a certain threshold of, I'm done with this. And that's a wonderful point, where you just, fuck it. Today, I'm just going to feel wonderful instead of just relying on outside world. And then you go through 24 hours of just feeling wonderful. And then you go back, right? Maybe I just can't decide my own emotions, right? But you can. And then key number 3, and I've written it down, know that they don't need to align the two worlds, hell and heaven. So if we look at this through a metaphysical point of view, hell and heaven are two vibrational differences. They are like hell is going for the outside world. It is using the ego to determine what your world is going to be like. It is actually losing all power. It is actually sinning, whatever you would call it. It is, I will not realize my own power. Then heaven is the opposite, realizing that you can create any reality because you can change your internal world. So just for now, let's make the distinction: hell outside, heaven inside, and realize that those two are not aligned. And when you hear it like that, hell and heaven, you know them to be opposites, right? And treat your world with the same level of distinction. Like really make a big wall between what you decide to be on the inside and what you are shown on the outside. And then just for a short while do that, because then you will realize you don't need the wall, because you are unmoved by outside world. When you realize your power, you are unaffected. And that is what I do with my clients. I have nothing to teach them. I only have to remember them of their power. So the methods I employ, my self-perception reset, my belief encoding, my frequency embodiment, link is in the bio if you want to work with me. Like, those are just tools for you to remember and build that conviction. And when we reach that point where you have just done it for a week, it's like a snowball, right? And then you know, if I'm just unbothered, if I just pick me inside, I can just go places that I have not been before. And that is what you should do. So the distinction between these two worlds is that inside you are only in two places. In the present moment most of the time, because when you are not in the present moment, you are in thoughts, and that those thoughts are creating reality. You are spending your currency, your energy on those thoughts. You are imagining. So you are in another timeline. You are in another world if you are not present. And the winners, they stay in the present for most of the time, but when they are thinking, they are jumping into the timeline of where they are going, not who they used to be. Right? And that is the creative power now. So the distinction is dividing external world, get out of here. I won't rely on you anymore. Now I will just focus on me and using that to create. So I'll just build, I call it a house of faith today, with walls of the perfect me. Right? Who am I on the inside? What number do I see in my bank account? What health issues don't I have? What relationship do I have? What childhood did I have? You just pick a new awareness level. Right? And then you just go to that. When you think, go to that. When you feel, go to that. When you act, go to that. Then your world will start to collapse around you. In the beginning, just one little final notice is that it will show the opposite when you start changing. So know that you made that happen. If you feel abundant today, just pick up abundance for 24 hours. Don't expect it, but maybe you'll get a bill. And realize that's the universe trying to see, are you really changing? Because would a rich guy, girl, be affected by that bill? No. And that's the same with health issues. I've seen clients change their perspective from being the pain to not being the pain, and then feeling more pain for a few days. But then, if you can stick with it, the world will have to change. The universe will have to change. It is always one-to-one. It is always the same. So your perception is, it has to be in front of your reflection, right? Because otherwise you will lose if you keep on leaning towards the outside world. So if you pick, it'll be like that. If you pick, it will be like that. Let this marinate inside you, this dish I just created for you, and realize this is how you become the greatest realtor of the UK, or realize that this is how you become the greatest rapper of all times, or a Hollywood actor, or healthy, or a family man, or whatever it is you want to create in your reality. It is not staying in the awareness, I don't have it. It is giving yourself the freedom to choose another perspective. Because realize that the problem is not the problem. It is your problem about the problem. That's the problem, because that is your creative power. That is your manifestation power right there in the middle. Your problem about the problem. Right. And you think it's not allowed. It is totally allowed. You have my permission, but you also need to give yourself permission. Even if you're very sick, realize, and very sick people, they do this themselves, actually. If you have a very strong health issue, you will oftentimes realize, yeah, but it does not help me feeling that as well. So I'll just have it, feel the opposite. But what happens is that their family members will start affirming their illness. And I've seen studies about this in cancer patients, actually, where a lot of patients say, my biggest problem when I was sick was my family. I had to also like attend to them. I had to comfort them in knowing that I would get healthy, right? Because they would affirm the opposite. I think you can recognize this. And your family, they don't do this intentionally, right? That's why you need to forgive them. They don't know their creative power. And that's the same with money, that when you start telling people that you are rich, or the same in a relationship, when you start telling people that you are very well, that you are actually pure love yourself, they will question it. And then you just go back to the forgiveness thought and say, yeah, in yourself, just think they don't know their power. But I know my power. So I also know that their thoughts does not affect my inside world. I have just picked it out myself, only picking from the top shelf, only high-end goods, right? No moldy goods, no discounted goods, only high-end, very expensive items for your internal house. Yeah. Go ahead now and change your life. And click the link in the bio if you want to work with me, if you want to take over the world, and put in the comments if you have a question, if you would like to affirm who you are. If you feel the feeling after watching this video that I am about to be this, tell me. And know that I will believe you. You need to find your own conviction, because mine, it's there, and it's also there on your behalf. See you soon. Get out of here.